We've heard a lot of hype about 5G, and today we're going to expose some truth and find out what it's really about. What is the 5G cellular network, and what exactly is it capable of? What does the equipment and hardware look like, and what should you watch out for? And the most important questions, is there a deeper agenda behind 5G? And how does it relate to things like mind control and energy weapons? Find out now on today's edition of Edge of Wonder, the truth about 5G.
Hey, welcome to the Edge of Wonder. We're your hosts. I'm Rob.
And I'm Ben. It seems that everyone is talking about 5G in the recent months, and we've been seeing it all over the news.
Many of y'alls have been requesting it in the comments and in our inboxes.
Today, we're finally going to put this one to bed. In part one of our two-part series, we'll go far and cover what 5G is and everything that it's capable of.
Causing cancer, controlling consumer behavior, 5G weapons? I mean, we have got an episode for you today. Let's get everyone on the same page. What is 5G?
5G is the fifth generation wireless technology that's currently being developed and implemented around the world to replace 4G LTE. Get this, it's supposed to be 100 times faster.
Yeah, 5G relies on higher frequency waves like millimeter waves to support faster speeds and improve your mobile experience. You'll see faster downloads and upload speeds, and for men, it's so fast your beards may even burn off while you're using it.
Maybe. The delay in communication between devices and wireless networks, known as latency, will decrease. 5G is low latency.
What's the current state of 5G cellular technology? According to the FCC, 5G will operate on 3 different spectrum bands in the US.
There's low band, mid band, and millimeter wave high band. You can think of these spectrum bands as roads and data transferred as the cars on the road.
The straighter and more direct the road, the faster that the cars can drive on it. The same analogy applies here.
Without going into too many specifics here, basically these higher frequency waves can't travel as far. Sort of like how at home you have to be close enough to the Wi-Fi device to get a signal.
5G stations can only cover less than 1 square mile, so it'll only work with an expansive network of antennas on top of existing infrastructure.
So what does this technology look like? What should you be looking out for?
If 5G has been rolled out in your neighborhood, you might see microcells or small boxes hung up on existing telephone poles, streetlights, or off a side of a building. You might also notice that you grow another head, or your leg falls clean off on your midnight 7-Eleven Slurpee run. You know you still drink those.
So in order for these cell phone and other devices with 5G capabilities to communicate with these 5G small cells, they need a 5G chip.
Qualcomm released its new Snapdragon X555 5G modem, which can run on 2G through 5G and promises to, quote, significantly boost the speed, coverage, and responsiveness of wireless networks. That was a mouthful.
That was. 5G will support autonomous vehicles, additional surveillance cameras, remote-controlled heavy machinery, advancement of internet things.
Our community probably already understands where this is going. Surveillance, remote-controlled heavy machinery, super smart appliances, and we've only scratched the surface. I mean, let's just introduce Hal and the Terminator into our homes.
Well, isn't that basically what we have with Alexa, like the Amazon thing? Like turning on by itself, doing weird things?
Exactly.
Well, so anyway, at best, Edge of Wonder videos will load faster on your phones, and at worst, Big Brother is watching you, or we should say the deep state in this case.
No. It's not like that. Let's go one level deeper. I mean, I've been alluding to it. How does 5G actually affect people, Ben?
In an appeal to the United Nations, over 240 scientists and doctors with published research from 41 nations listed out the side effects of exposure to non-ionizing electromagnetic fields, or EMFs.
I have no idea how you survived that paragraph. What falls under the category of EMFs? EMFs includes radio frequency, radiation, RFR, cellular and cordless phones, their base stations, Wi-Fi broadcast antenna, smart meters, and baby monitors. I mean, baby monitors? Ugh.
How do these EMFs affect us?
Effects include increased cancer risk, cellular stress, increase in harmful free radicals, genetic damages, structural and functional changes of the reproductive system, learning and memory deficits, neurological disorders, and negative impacts on general well-being. General well-being, I mean, This just sounds terrible. Actually, even the Epoch Times highlighted an occurrence where 150 dead birds fell out of the trees and onto the ground of a park in The Hague, Netherlands due to a nearby 5G network antenna.
Dr. Martin Paul, professor emeritus at Washington State University and a leading EMF expert, spoke at the National Institute of Health about the dangers of 5G.
He expressed his concerns that EMF effects will lead to existential threats to our survival. Existential?
The top three among them being reproductive effects, neurological or neuropsychiatric effects, and the germline mutation effects.
I mean, why is this so concerning? When the effects compound to become more severe, they become ultimately irreversible. So basically, our legs fall off and we grow additional heads.
So it's very possible that technological advanced countries to suffer catastrophic drops in human reproduction.
And that to us sounds like a page out of Agenda 21 or the Deep State's depopulation agenda.
The Michigan Safe Technology YouTube channel shared a clip from a legislation hearing where Dr. Sharon Goldberg talked about the electromagnetic radiation that causes deterioration of mental health as an epidemic leading to suicides, shootings, and opioid use.
What are the effects on the environment or on animals? A detailed long-term field monitoring study was performed from 2006 through 2015 in the cities of Bamberg and Hastalt in Germany.
What they found was that the trees in low radiation areas showed no damage, while statistical analyses revealed that electromagnetic radiation from mobile phone masts is harmful for trees.
Even trees are affected. Another review by Alfonso Balmori also measured how exposure to electromagnetic radiation, a form of environmental pollution, can harm wildlife.
These animals suffer deterioration in health and reproductive issues, ultimately leading to a decline in animal populations.
But hey, faster downloads and uploads, right? So, no, animals and plants aren't an exception.
So what about humans?
Exactly. They're endangered by the rapid development of electromagnetic radiation caused by cellular technology.
We just discussed examples of how electromagnetic frequencies like 5G can affect our health. But is there even a more nefarious agenda behind 5G?
"5G promises super-fast data transfer, which can accelerate different implementations of the Internet things."
Architects of 5G envision a world where pill bottles, refrigerators, hairbrushes will use small antennas that connect to a low-T network.
Why would we ever need that? Some examples that might require 5G are pantry items that text you when you're low in stock at home, smart appliances that adjust to your behavior, self-driving cars that can anticipate your schedule.
So basically, you just stop thinking at all and become completely controlled by your device. But I mean, we're pretty much like this already.
Yeah, I'll be sitting there drooling from brain inactivity, and I'm going to need a text next time I have to use the bathroom. Boop, boop. Rob, you have a bowel movement.
All right. All these smart things are additional data points that a company can collect to understand and predict a consumer's behavior.
This is reminiscent of William Cooper's concept of economic shock testing, which we've referenced in our Deep State series.
Cooper describes economic shock testing as the phenomenon where prices of commodities are shocked and the public consumer reaction is monitored.
So, when staples such as beef, coffee, gasoline, or sugar will suddenly spike in price or availability, people will also drastically respond to that change.
These shock waves can be monitored through changes in advertising, prices, and sales of that and other commodities, and interpreted theoretically by computers, so that the psychoeconomic structure of the economy is thus discovered.
Basically, you can manipulate people to do certain things by understanding their relationship to the economy.
Economic shock testing tries to convince the public that certain experts should take control of the money system and reestablish security rather than liberty and justice for all.
So, I mean, they've been doing this with ads and all of this stuff for years, right? But now they have tools that can actually help them hone this even more. So we are aware that this stuff has been going on forever, you guys.
Facebook hacking.
Amazon.
Facebook.
All right. While the government already has a pretty good grasp of macro trends in consumer behavior, the Internet of Things and 5G will give detail to consumer behavior that they never had before.
So again, we touch upon more mind-blowing concepts from Bill Cooper's Behold a Pale Horse in our Deep State series.
And if you haven't checked that out yet, where have you been? It's a series you don't want to miss, so go back and watch it.
Some of the helpful or convenient solutions brought out through the Internet of Things actually seems kind of invasive.
Now, here might be one of the most disturbing effects of 5G. We're still unraveling this one ourselves. Do you guys remember our Voice of God mind control technology video? I mean, dude, where have you been? Go watch that too. It's nuts.
We mentioned how the Voice of God technology could use cell phone towers to send out these signals via these psychoelectronic weapons.
So there's a few more patents related to 5G that we should expose.
Hendrikus G. Luce patented a method to manipulate a subject's nervous system when they're near a device emitting electromagnetic fields.
Well, this just sounds hendriculous. Get it? No.
That was bad. Well, epic name aside, this patent describes how a computer program can routinely pulse a frequency from a monitor to affect the subject's nerves.
The application status of this patent is still active, which means it's possible for a company to potentially implement 5G technology to induce certain behaviors and reactions in people this year.
That name definitely sounded too funny to be real.
You mean it was rather hendriculous?
Yes. And you know what? Some folks speculate that it may be a pseudonym for Professor Ross Addy. Who is Professor Ross Addy?
Well, you'll find many things online about Professor Ross Addy. In his obituary, it says that he was a leading and controversial figure on the effects of electromagnetic fields.
He studied brain physiology at Oxford University and then joined the Brain Research Institute at UCLA in 1961.
There, he studied how extremely low frequencies, or ELFs, affect the human brain and nervous system.
Addy demonstrated how electromagnetic field radiation affects brain tissue. Soon after, Motorola found out what he was doing and hired him and Jerry Phillips to research effects of cell phone radiation on tissue.
From their research, they observed a decrease in central nervous system tumors in animals exposed to cell phone frequencies.
Afterwards, Motorola ended their project and downplayed the results. But this doesn't make any sense, right? I mean, why would Motorola end a project that reduces tumors?
Maybe, just maybe, they observed the opposite results like all the other scientists that we mentioned above found that cell phone radiation could increase tumors.
An interesting footnote to the side story is that Motorola Mobility is now owned by China's Lenovo. Just keep that tidbit in mind for the rest of this 5G series.
So back to the patent. Under the pseudonym Hendrikus G. Luce, he wrote up another patent for a apparatus and method for generating and containing plasma having ultra-high temperatures.
How we understand this patent is that this apparatus has the ability to generate and contain energy at ultra-high temperatures using electromagnetic means.
Why that's suspicious is that the company associated with this patent is Plasmadyne Corporation, which is based out of Santa Ana, California.
Sounds like Cyberdyne.
You know.
Just saying. Some speculation here, but there could be a way that the direct energy weapons starting those fires in California and burning houses down to the ground, as David Wilcox said, boring holes and through cars and burning trees from the inside out, could be influenced by
Hendrikus G. Luce technology.
Hendrikus G. Luce technology.
Whatever that guy's name is. Let's just keep going. All this is to say, 5G is a type of electromagnetic frequency. Could 5G technology that's being developed be used to manipulate people's behavior or be used to generate ultra-high temperature energy to be used as a directed energy weapon?
You can find all this information publicly available on patents.google.com, and we encourage you to do your own research.
Okay, before we wrap up, please go check out our platform, edgeofwonder.tv.
Edge of Wonder TV is the platform where we'll host all of our videos, including the exclusives that we can't post on YouTube.
We'll post episodes early so subscribers get those early access videos.
We'll also do weekly live streams covering sensitive topics that we can't cover here.
We're also going to have our personal channels on there and a lot of premium content. Subscriptions are $9.99 a month, and you can get 10% off if you subscribe annually. Pretty good deal.
We'll premiere uncensored long-form content featuring some of your favorite guests every month.
If you want to support us and see more exclusive content, subscribe on edgeofwonder.tv.
Okay, to wrap up, we covered what 5G technology comprises of and what technology breakthroughs it promises.
100 times download and upload speeds, the Internet of Things, and autonomous vehicles.
We also highlighted the proven and well-documented dangers of electromagnetic frequencies, or EMFs, on humans, animals, and the environment.
5G may become an extremely invasive way to capture all of your personal data to understand and manipulate your behavior. That is, if your data is in the wrong hands.
Which basically is Facebook, what Facebook is doing
I mean,
already.
who's got that data?
Anyway, they already have ours, I'm sure. So this 5G tech could potentially be used to manipulate your behavior.
And lastly, we dipped our toes in some of the hendriculous, loose, crazy plasma technology and how 5G can power it.
There's no way you can say that with a straight face.
Can't.
In the next episode, we'll talk about the 5G battle, the Cold War between the Alliance and the Deep States.
So stay tuned, and we'll see you out
On the edge.
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 On the edge. On the edge.
On the edge.
Structural and functional changes of the reproductive system, learning and memory man, this is
I think I'm gonna take this paragraph is what I think is gonna happen. And harmful free radicals. I kind of want to be a free radical.
that would not be good.
Let me do that again.